Okay, folks, this is the last match of the night. Okay, so the race you see right there says race to 5, but this is actually a 5-4 race. So YVETTE's team has to go to 5, and Michael's team has to go to 4. So the winner of this match returns tomorrow and makes it to the top 3, and they will play for 3rd and a chance to advance to the final to play Crystal's team. They have the hot seat, and this is a true double elimination. They would have to be beat twice. So YVETTE makes a nice cut shot using the bridge, the crutch, but in doing so, ends up in a bad position here. So hooks Kathy. No real one-railer at it. She could come into here, but would have to reverse it a little bit to close that gap, because that natural angle is going to want to go more this way, like that. So she would have needed to put a little bit of inside English to come off this rail tighter. But Jonathan has ball in hand. Now, the best move right here is to play the 9, because the 8 ball is blocking the 3 already. So play the 9 ball and get it out in the open. But instead, they think it's blocking the 3, so they're going to leave it, which just causes them more trouble. But missing his ball in hand shot, he did not leave Buddy anything here. Now this is a dangerous shot. He's playing a jump cross bank, which if he pulls this off will be really nice. Well, he got a great hit, ended up doing the double bank, which isn't what he called. So Sherry comes to the table, and there's a whole mess of balls here, none of which go clean. One thing that could be done is hit like a stop shot to keep the cue ball right here and send that in there and open this all up. And then that would leave them a jump shot. Oh. So that missed altogether and gives YVETTE ball in hand on the 8. So I'm not sure what Sherry was trying there. Maybe just to clip the 13 and get down here to the bottom rail, which would have had to have been perfect to be blocked by the 11 ball. So, and it would have just pushed that ball in there deeper and leave a big mess. I think my move but I think playing that stop shot there on the 15 and opening all that mess right here would have been the way to go if you were looking to play safe. Which in that instance maybe have been the best move, just because you really didn't have an offensive shot and nothing that you could work off of to get that mess dealt with. But they get the freebie, the ball in hand on the 8. YVETTE makes it to go up 1-0. And there's a dry break. Table's kind of messy. These solids right here aren't real nice. No real decent start shot other than maybe this 10 down here. Being that close to it, the cue ball being that close to it, it's not an easy aim target there. And the other downside to it being that close to it is the cut-induced throw is going to push that ball over this way. So instead of aiming here, you would want to aim more here. So that little bit of throw would push this 10 ball more in towards the pocket. But table's open. Not a whole lot of good starters. This combo is probably a decent option to go with. Pretty straightforward. She can go with this 10 ball here if she wants, the 2 ball. But she's calling the combo. She made it, and the cue ball did come off the rail enough to pass the 6. But these 2 balls are tied up together and do not go now. So Kathy will be playing into the side. So this being tied up right here is going to help Mike's team a lot. They don't go anywhere. So Sherry can start with this 2 ball, and then they can play the 6 and maneuver their way through this cluster. I don't know if you can hear me, Josh. I see you trying to log in on your commentary link, but I do not hear you at all. I just hear some rustling around.
Yep, I was just getting ready.
Oh, okay, I can hear you now, just fine.
Good.
So they bumped the 1 ball over here and tied it up. Now Sherry's going to be playing the 6 ball here. But tying the 1 ball up in the 10 ball, that basically returned the favor of this. So now they both have issues. And this table just got tougher because of both of those.
I'm sure you've probably already mentioned it, Rich, but just clarifying this. This is a 5-4 race. Yvette's team has to go to 5, and Mike's team has to go to 4.
That is correct.
So now it's just an even 4-4 race.
Yes.
Nice.
But when I typed in the match on the tablet there, I put the races to 5, so it doesn't show down there race to 4 or 5 like it did before. It just shows the race to 5.
Yeah.
So Buddy was trying to make a move, get that broke out. Didn't quite get it. So Yvette will be forced to try something with that 13, which is right here. Well, she called save, so she's going to open this up and try to get the cue ball up table somewhere difficult. Well, unfortunately, the two balls stayed together. However, if you get over in this angle here, you can do a combo with it. But she was hoping they would be separated. But they lie better than they did. So now the best they can hope for is another opportunity at the out. Mike just made a nice shot, brought it over for the 1 nicely. Now Jonathan will need to just play a stop shot. He could roll forward, but then you got speed control has to be perfect to get by this. But playing a stop shot, then Sherry will have a shot no matter what. So he did try to go forward to help eliminate the angle, but in doing so, he hooked her on both of their balls. And she doesn't jump, so she will be kicking. So this will be very tough. This is basically going to be kicking for a hit versus a make. So looking in the chat room, I see Aaron Davis asking if the Little Dutch Inn is in Washington. Yes, it is. It's in Yakima, Washington, which is central Washington. We are 30 minutes drive south of Ellensburg, if you've ever heard of Ellensburg. Well, yeah, we're pretty much in the middle of the state. We run a lot of tournaments here. I appreciate you jumping in and watching this. Okay, so Kathy is shooting. The 13 does look like it squeezes in there. She might even be able to see the edge of the 9 to play the 9 first. Like I said, this combo becomes better if you're in this position versus anywhere else. So they're going to want to try to get to that position for that. So she hit the 9, hit it at a pretty good speed, where Buddy can now pocket the 15 and go forward into that perfect position for that combo. Oop. May have shot that just a little bit too fast, but got the nice roll. Left Mike's team hooked. Hey, Aaron. So Ohio, huh? Yeah, that's a ways away for us. But if you ever end up out this way into the Pacific Northwest, there's lots of pool around here. Not just in central Washington, but on eastern and western Washington. There's plenty of pool, lots of pool bars and pool halls. It's a great place to play. What's the pool scene like in Ohio? And yes, Aaron, this is a tournament. I put together a Scotch triples tournament that had a 1350 Fargo cap, and no player on the team can be rated higher than 499. So there's a few specific rules to it, but it makes the team selections interesting and the play. But yeah, we do a lot of things like that to keep our pool community pretty active around here. So it looks like Kathy's going to have to shoot the 13 here and try to come out and get shape. Now, it doesn't appear that the 15 passes the 12. So if she ends up over here, that's going to be very tough. She would need to get out more into the middle. So that was a great shot. Kathy back cutting that 15 up table. That allows Buddy to be somewhat straight in, where he can just stop shot this 12 and maybe even drop back just a little bit to give YVETTE the 13 on the side. And Buddy hit that very nicely. So now, just depends on what YVETTE tries for shape here. If she's going to slow roll it, she'll end up over here. She could play with a little bit of pace and try to come around for the 8-ball. Slow rolling is not a bad option. Just could leave it funny for the 8. Kind of like that, where it's 50-50, the side or corner. Now, in this particular position, I think most would be shooting for the corner pocket over here. If you give it just a little pop draw, the cue ball will come this way, and that will help control the cue ball and keep it out of danger. And just like that, she pops it right in. So that was a nice run there for YVETTE's team. They take the lead 2-0. Jonathan's rack and break.
Didn't mean to jump on and then not talk or anything, Rich, but I just got home from a long day of pool 2, so I'm just trying to get things situated.
All righty. Yeah, Aaron, the name Michael is usually spelled MICHEAL, but his name is actually MICHEAL, believe it or not. He was telling me that after 13 boys, he got the name MICHEAL no matter what, and so he kind of got stuck with that. So the E is before the A. It's unusual. The first time I saw it too, I thought it was a typo, but that's actually how he spells it. Yeah, Aaron, it's unusual for sure. I guess that allows him to be unique. Yeah, because he's the only one I know too that has the name Michael spelled that way. So it's definitely unusual.
So I was going through looking at the bracket. It looks like this is a pretty good little turnout for this tournament. A little fun tournament. Looks like you might have even had a team or two from out of town. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we had one of the out-of-town teams drop out. The other one did show up. Two of the three players were from OMAC, and one was from the west side somewhere. Really nice people. They were real fun. They got along great with everybody. They had some pretty exciting matches too, and they're real happy-go-lucky people. So it was pretty fun. You know, you could tell they were having a good time as well, which is just what you want. And they're all good sportsmanship, and everything else. So it was a great thing to have them here partake with us.
Nice, yeah, that's not surprising. You know, these Scotch triples tournaments, they, I mean, you and I've played in a bunch, and we've played in a bunch of them. They're always fun, no matter what level, who it is. Everybody just seems to have a good time.
Yeah, so far that's been the case. There's been no issues, and you know, we've had some matches run long, but other than that, everything's been going smooth. And, you know, the team that had the lowest combined Fargo has the hot seat, and because of the handicap, you know, they got a game or two on the wire each time, but they also shot decent. So, you know, they're all pretty giddy about being there, which is awesome for them. And Aaron,
there was handicaps, but rightfully so. You know, I mean, that's where their Fargo puts them, and that's what they still have to play good at their level, even though they're getting a handicap to be able to earn those wins. I bet that was pretty exciting for them.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. And the two teams that played in the hot seat were not the two teams you would pick to be playing in the hot seat, you know. So that was pretty cool to have them up there. And Aaron, we did not do a Calcutta, but we did do a side pot So basically, every team had an optional side pot for $60. So they could pay $60 to get in that side pot. 11 of the 12 teams did. And we're doing a 60-40 split of that money in addition to tournament money. So first and second place will get a 60-40 split of the total side pot.
Yeah, I don't know how many tournaments you see in Ohio, Aaron, with side pots, but versus Calcutta. But in Washington, Calcutta is not something that the Gaming Commission likes. They frown upon it. So there's a lot of bars that stay away from it. So you see a lot of tournaments in the Washington State, in both parts of the state, that just kind of default to the side pots for the most part. Helps build something on the side. It's not as good as a Calcutta, but it kind of helps supplement the tournament. So you'll see a little bit of that here in Washington. Yeah, this table's got some funky stuff to it. Looks like they're gonna. Well, that was a nice shot.
Yeah, Buddy's been playing well. Been making some shots all day.
So do you try to do like a stop shot on the 2 and then play the 1 and try to come off this direction and run into this, or do you play to the combo? Because you have your backup ball with the 6 here in case you don't come out laying clean with something.
Yeah,
off the breakout.
So I think the combo would be the shot right now, not the 1. Just because you already have the good angle you need for that. But it looks like they might be leaving the combo for last.
Well, the combo would be good to shoot right now if I was them. You have a good angle because it's going to be cutting in this way, so you're going to be wanting to come at the 5 like this anyways, and at least you have the 6 ball if the 5 doesn't lay out good,
Yeah, and it looks like Buddy's going to agree with you. And he made it, and got a good look at the 6. So Yvette will just have to roll that in, no problem, and then Kathy will have a nice angle on the 5 to go 3 rails, kind of this way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so that's going to be a game changer there. Getting rolled up inside there is going to be tough. I don't think she can see it. Maybe she can. I don't know. I'm on the opposite side of the table, so.
It looks like she can.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, she could see all of it. She missed it on the wrong side.
She did. She could definitely see more of it than I thought.
Yeah, she didn't get hurt a whole lot there, though. She didn't really leave a ton.
Yeah, but she left the window in here for that safety.
Yeah.
To just give that a bump and leave the cue ball locked up in there. There's really not a good offensive shot to start with, so, having a safety that can address this mess is a pretty good thing.
Like she left the rail first, maybe.
Yeah, she might have left the rail first, but it wasn't a bad idea that she went for it. You look at it, she took care of that problem.
She might not have left the rail first. You might have to masse it to be able to make it.
Yeah, I don't even know if a masse would be good because the masse would have to have the spin all the way out here. Yeah, he's going for the hit. He missed it. Okay, so this is the ball they need to start with right there. Get their problem ball, but because it's partially blocking the 5 from a particular angle, they're probably just going to leave it. It's kind of been the theme. They sort of did that in the last match as well. Just leave that kind of stuff to the end, which caused them a problem almost every time. But maybe this time it works out a little different.
Yeah, a little different style of play, a little different thought process on it.
Yeah, but it definitely would have been where I started to get rid of that for sure. That way I don't have a ball blocked. You know,
Yep.
Everything had a home.
Yeah, because this ball here is kind of tight to the side to be able to, like, even if you get in here, to be able to play it and then drift down here, you know?
Right.
So they're going to probably have to play a safety at some point or get super aggressive and try to get shape back to it, which is super difficult.
Yeah, that's why you address your problems early so you don't paint yourself into a corner, because at the rate they're going, that's kind of what they're doing. They're going to end up leaving this 10 ball as a kind of a last ball and having to try to play shape to it, which it's going to be very difficult. So it looks like Sherry's going to be playing the 11 ball right here. And that should give her the angle. Pocket that one next there, but whether they do that or not, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, she gave Jonathan an option here to play safe, or I mean, he could always play this ball and come off and come out like this and leave some angles so that Mike can play this ball to this pocket down here and then play down to the 10 somehow. But man, that's just tough.
Yeah, so now, and that was Mike, by the way, Michael. Now
Michael,
it's Jonathan.
Yeah. Sorry.
And basically is left with this shot here. And the hope is to have a shot probably on this one next. Well, he missed it, come in behind it, got no rail. So that is a ball in hand, but I don't know if Yvette's going to know that. Kind of had her back turned a little bit. Her teammates can't yell it out to her. But she has a nice clean look at the 5, so it's not all bad.
These are one of these spots, you know, I've it's definitely, what a great shot.
Yeah, she really stroked that one. Yeah, perfect. Oh, being treetop did its thing.
Yeah, that's a Josh Anderson move right there, treetop and and miss by. Yeah, those are tough. You know, I've actually gotten a lot better at those, but it took years of you telling me just keep it simple, don't do too much, before I actually started keeping it simple.
Yeah, and that's the big difference is don't try too much. Just pocket your ball. Not too much speed, not English. You know, just pocket the ball and then settle what you're going to get. Accept it, and you know, if your next shot's going to be tougher, then so be it. But at least you won't be treetop and you'll be able to work it in some manner. Okay, so Mike made that shot. Jonathan called the bank to the side. It looks pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Somewhere right in here ought to do the trick.
Looks like he's
The thing
playing
is,
high with it, not
he's
playing
hitting a
low.
lot of top, so that's gonna.
Yeah, left it tough. You know, I was surprised because,
Well, the thing is,
with how
Buddy's
safety
left-handed.
conscious they're being, I'm surprised he didn't just clip that and play the cue ball down here.
Yeah, that would have been a good way to go, force him into something difficult. But
yeah,
see, now this shot would be tough for right-handers, but Buddy's left-handed, so it's. And he's got the young eyeballs. But look at that!
Oh,
Oh,
wow. Suspense. That's funny.
That took me back to the golf days of Tiger Woods at the Masters, where his Nike ball hung on the edge of the pocket. That was pretty cool. Everybody in here got quiet for like a second, and then it got loud. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
just
3-0. Yeah, it was pretty cool when I seen Crystal and her team had the hot seat. I messaged Crystal and I seen, when she told me who her team was, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Bet they had some fun. I talked to Crystal a little bit about a building in France, just a smidge. She giving her props.
Yeah, well, her mood is definitely different after winning every match and coming back to the score sheet.
I bet.
She wasn't beat red like in tournaments in the past. Just coming in happy and cheery, which I think helped her to play better as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure playing with Marty and Ron Scott, two fun guys. So, that keeps your spirits up. You got a teammate that, not put any pressure on you or stress. They're just all having fun.
Yep. What do you mean by a 6 and under tournament? Do you mean like a 600 and under tournament, Aaron?
I'm thinking, Josh, that's more of a APA. That'd be my guess. APA.
Oh, gotcha. Well, usually APA, I mean, like in Vegas or whatever for APA Nationals, 6, 7s, 8s, and 9s for 9-ball are usually grouped in and
so I did clarify to 650 below. Yeah, we have done a couple of those. We had one here, I don't know, a month or so ago. We had a tournament that was a 550 to 650 Fargo. So anybody in that range could play. And we had a pretty good turnout there. But yeah, we like to mix it up. I'm going to be doing one here in the near future that's going to be a 699 and below 9-ball tournament. And then I might do a higher Fargo level Scotch triples as well, just to include some of the other players around and get some other ones to travel in from around the state.
Yeah, Aaron, the pool scene's really good here in Yakima and Central Washington, but just this Yakima and the group of cities right here, there's like a population of like 100,000, and the pool scene has only a handful of players over 600. There's only one player over 650 right now in this area. So whenever we run the bigger tournaments where it's uncapped or it's 650 and under or something like that, we get a lot of outer towners, which is great. We see all these guys at tournaments, and we play a lot of them and stuff. But Rich likes to try to, even though he was always the highest in his town and in the mid 600s, he likes to run these kind of tournaments to give more of the population in this city an opportunity to be able to play in events like this, to where they they can thrive and put together good little teams and play tournaments like this and have a little bit more fun, and not have to play with all the higher level players. He runs a lot of tournaments that he's not even able to play in, but he does it because he loves seeing that the pool community be able to grow around here.
And typically, Aaron, the 9-ball tournaments, I do not count the 9-ball breaks. You can do early 9s, illegal shots, but not the 9-ball on the break. Typically, we'll just spot and keep going because I want players to play. But we do include the 3-foul. We used to not here in Yakima, but we travel to a regional tournament that does have the 3-foul, and we've had Yakima players go over there and kind of get surprised by it. So I've been incorporating it nowadays so that the players around here get familiar with it and used to it. Because pretty much everywhere you go, if you're playing BCA rules, then the 3-foul is in play. So incorporating it more around here so that people will, the mid to low level player can learn that, so they're not caught off guard by it when they travel out of town.
Yeah, it looks like Yvette's in a funny spot here. I don't know what she's...
She is. I think she's looking at that 3-6 combo into the side. It does look like it goes.
Well, and the nice thing is she's not having to be treetop shooting it like she would be the 2. The problem with it is she's going to be replacing one problem with another, because unless she hits that with a ton of pace, that 3 is going to just get nestled up in there too, probably.
Right.
And it may turn out even worse than how the 6 is. Oh, wow.
Oh, a little unfortunate scratch there. So, Aaron, this place, the Little Dutch Inn, we have 4 7-foot diamonds here. There's another bar in town that also has 4 7-foot diamonds. And the other pool bars around town all have 8-foot valleys or dynamo tables. The Dutch and the other place called the Ranch are the 2 big pool bars around here. But we run most of the tournaments around here. We have live stream available through EvoSports. We bought the equipment to put the camera in and do this commentary. We're the only bar in town that has that. So, and we use it. I actually really, really enjoy it. So I live stream everything. So every tournament we run here, whether it's a weekly one, like a Saturday night one, or a weekend one like this one, every match that's on this table, this first table here, we live stream.
I didn't necessarily like the route Mike started with here. I think he should have started with the 12 in the side and came up here with the cue ball, cleared this, and then he could have played this other ball around down here, because now he kind of put Jonathan in a weird spot where he's got to stun over and fall into a good window for Sherry to be able to play this nice and easy. Now Sherry's going to have to play this, and she's got to run into the 7 to be able to give Mike a chance at that 9 ball. And with her angle, she either have to hit it really soft to just lay the cue ball up here and leave him a shot, or hit it with like a little bit of a stun shot, center ball, and kind of stun over into the 7. My mouse is going
crazy. I think the best move would be, like you said, to bring the cue ball over here and play that 13 this way, because it's a amount of work. For them leaving for the last balls to do that, they definitely put themselves in a bad position. And I think bringing the cue ball over to this side here is going to be their most effective way to get out. But
See, I kind of like what she did there, just a little softer. Because if she hits that nice and easy to try to roll that rail, it's so easy to just overhit it and come behind the 7. At least this way they have a chance. But it's super with that angle. He's just going to be drawn to here. He's got to try to stun it to here to be able to see the 8 still. Gosh, he hit that.
Well,
hit that the best he could hit.
Yeah, and to be honest, that was kind of a very odd stroke. He was a little treetopped on the 5 there, a little jacked up, and so when you're jacked up, that affects accuracy. But then when you don't stroke it cleanly, funny results are pretty normal.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, I agree with you there. Diamonds are the way to go. They're definitely a great table to play on. And your comment about appreciating us loving the sport, thank you for saying so, man. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you tuning in. And periodically, we do get a viewer from somewhere else that's far away, and we enjoy that. I think that's pretty cool that we could reach you all the way over in Ohio to watch this tournament. That's pretty cool. So, but definitely keep an eye out, because we do stream a lot here. So definitely stay tuned. I'll remember the name. So if I see it again, I'll definitely give you a shout out there. So thanks again for tuning in and chatting with us.
Don't believe him, Aaron. Don't believe him. He'll forget. He had a stroke recently, so he forgets the names of people that he's known for years.
Or that could be my excuse, Josh.
Yeah, that's true.
Your name is Josh, right?
Speaking of which, I had as you know, me and Poncho were at that Coeur d'Alene tournament this weekend.
Yeah.
Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and I had quite a few people asking how you're doing and how much pool you're playing and stuff. And me and Dave Schneider talked quite a bit,
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people miss seeing you. I'm sure they don't miss you coming and running over tournaments and stuff anymore, but miss seeing you for sure.
Maybe one of these days I'll get back to that. My biggest hope right now is to just stop the bleeding on my Fargo. Man, I've lost 25 points, but granted, I did have a stroke, so, I can't really complain too much, because I am able to play right now. Even if it's not at the form I used to. I really can't cry about it too much, because I'm able to play again. And as much as I love this game, that would have really killed me to not be able to play. So that's a big deal for me.
Yeah, Dave was asking me. He was like, "Hey," he goes, "is he going to be traveling much for BCA tournaments and stuff? Because he might be able to even petition to have his Fargo lowered a little bit, so he's not having to play elite wherever he goes." And I said, the problem with that, Dave, is me and him get together and play sets sometimes. And I said, there's times, he just obviously he's not keeping up like he used to, but I said there's also times where he just sticks it in me and he just break and runs a bunch of racks. I was like, so if they lowered his Fargo and he was able to go play in platinum or something and he snaps it off, there'd be a lot of bitching. It wouldn't be worth it, Now, not to take away from the match here. These guys just made a really good out.
Yes, they did.
They're all hitting the balls really good and clean, the thing I noticed, like that whole route, I know we're just jabbing our jaws here, but that whole route, every ball was center pocket. and this is Scotch triple, so there's 3 different people shooting.
Yeah, and
And-
before this match started, they were on the next table over there, practicing. So they never like sat around and waited. They were always hitting balls, keep themselves in it, keep themselves stroking and showing. They're- and all day long they've been playing pretty well, so they're kind of building their chemistry, playing together, and it's showing.
Yeah. Speaking of that Coeur d'Alene tournament, I didn't do well. I had my struggles I told you about, but I don't know how much you've been able to see, but Poncho he lost to Lake McKay first
Yeah,
round,
I saw that live stream, and he ended up losing Hill, but
but
he
he
had
should
a
have won
chance.
that match like 5-1.
Yeah, definitely. A couple of there was
But
a
I'll
7 ball
tell you,
he missed to get perfect on the 8. That he made everything look easy up to that point, and just missed that ball. It's like,
yeah,
whoa, what? Yeah,
yeah.
me and John Sanders were watching, and it was like, what's going on?
Oh, the soft
Oh,
break.
the tricks of old have come to play.
Um, but yeah, he I tell you what, he got he's down 4-1 to Lake, and he got in stroke, and then they went Hill, and then he lost Hill, but he was in stroke, and then he steamrolled he blanked his next opponent, and then the next opponent he had, I don't remember if he blanked him or not, but I know he broke and ran all of his racks because it's alternate break, and
Oh, nice.
he became a break and run machine, man. He broke and ran a bunch of racks against that first opponent on the B side. He broke and ran all 3 or 4 of his breaks against his next opponent, and then he had to play. There was an 8-year-old kid there from Montana.
Oh, yeah, I saw him on the live stream. They had multiple
Quinn.
cameras,
Yeah,
and
his dad Tim Powell. You'd know him if you've seen him. They're from Montana, and that kid. He's gonna be good one of these days, man. He ended up winning 2 matches, but then he had
oh
to play
yeah,
Poncho on the B side, and Poncho, blanked him. But Poncho's a man. And he goes, he was tearing at my heartstrings. He's like, I had him way down. He looks at me and goes, "Will you please let me win a game?" Which Poncho didn't. And then
yeah.
Poncho plays another guy and broke and ran all of his breaks. And the poor guy, he's down, and the guy miscues. And Poncho's 2 away from the hill. The guy miscues on the break. So Poncho takes his break and runs, and then gets on the hill, and then now it's Poncho's turn to break. So he's breaking for himself now, and then he break and runs to finish the match. So he's coming back tomorrow. But I'll tell you, when he played Lake in that first round, Poncho didn't practice last night, and this morning when we got there before it opened, he didn't practice at all. He didn't hit a ball before him and Lake played.
Oh, wow.
And I was giving him shit about it. I'm like, dude, if you'd have hit some balls, like, you could have started out in stroke. And then he came through on the B side just playing like an animal, and then he made it back to the final 16 tomorrow. And he tells me before he leaves, he looks at me and he goes, "I'm gonna come in early and practice tomorrow." You better. All right, soft break here, man.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all. But yeah, I watched that stream with him and Lake, and that last game when they were Hill, he was running on it when Lake got himself in trouble, and then I thought he was going to get out, and then he missed that bank on the 7 ball, which brought Lake back to the table, and then he run it out.
Well, I'll tell you that 7 ball, that bank on the 7, that 7 didn't bank clean. He was looking, trying to play. He had to spin load it. He had to spin load it.
It was a slight cross bank too. Had that little bit of a cross bank angle in it.
And he told me, because he had a safety he could have played, but he told me, he's like, man, with where Lake's balls were, he goes, I literally had to hit the safety perfect. I had to come off, get to the backside of my 4 ball, and dead freeze him on the backside of that. He goes, because with where his balls were, he goes, it was just such an easy 1 rail escape or whatever. And he goes, and I just thought, you know what? With such low percentages either way, I'm gonna fucking go for it. I'm sorry, excuse me. He said I'm gonna go for it, put it in my hands, and then he missed it, and Lake ran out.
Yeah,
you can't miss, when somebody like Lake, 700s are gonna run out on you if they get a chance. But
Yeah, I mean, he was playing good. Aaron, I've never been to the Derby City Classic. I watch it. I watch it on YouTube and whatever stream platforms are going. I've never been to it. In fact, I've never really been anywhere east, past, say, like maybe Montana to play pool, except for there was 2 times. Once in 2009, I won an entry into the U.S. Amateur Championship, and so I got to go to Atlanta, Georgia, and play there in the U.S. Amateur. And then the following year, I won a qualifier again, and they moved it to Tampa, Florida. So I got to go to Tampa, Florida. So those 2 years in a row, I got to go play. And I never really been much into playing on 9-footers, but you know, once I get going on them, I can usually hold my own. And back then, I was doing all right with that. But those are the only 2 times that I've played, moving east of the states. But I've been all around the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, and Vegas, and Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Washington.
Yeah.
Just not a. Yeah, right. Right. Last year, we were looking at going to the U.S. Open, and then we started. Remember, we were looking at going to Texas, Arizona. Started looking at some of those, and then it just hasn't happened yet. We skipped out on going to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, that was probably a good thing. I mean, we should have went the first year. Then last year, the week we were going to go, that's when I had the stroke. I'm glad we didn't go. That would have sucked even more to have it over there.
Yeah.
That would have made it a lot tougher for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for me too. I'd have been all struggling trying to find another teammate.
Right?
No, I'm joking. Yeah, man, I was talking. Who moved to the Idaho area, Rathdrum, just 20 minutes from Coeur d'Alene, is Mike
Who?
Grimm. Mike Grimm.
Oh, yeah, I saw him on the stream in one of the background tables, and I was like, man, there's a face I haven't seen in forever.
Oh, sit and talked to him for a while, and he took 3 years off the pool, and just asked him what was going on. He's like, you know what? He goes, I hurt my pool game. He goes, I was just getting up towards the 700 range. He goes, but I just needed to focus on life and finances and buying. He goes, I decided I wanted to buy a house and build a house here in Rathdrum and get out of Oregon. And he goes, so I just started committing to that kind of stuff. And he just moved, finally got into his new place. He lives over by where Juan and Nancy's new place is.
Yeah.
And he said, 3 years not playing pool. He's like, I decided to come check out Patty's and start playing again. And man, he could tell he doesn't play at the speed he was playing at, but God, he still plays so good. He lost to Damien, but Damien's beating everybody right now. Damien's playing super strong. Yeah. Punk Panic.
Wow.
But Mike's been shooting pretty good, beating everybody else. But yeah, me and him were talking. He was surprised you and I hadn't been to the U.S. Open yet. Because he's like, man, he goes, he how he loves one pocket and gambles big and everything one pocket. He's like, yeah, and he's telling me how the year he went, he ended up taking 5th in the one pocket in the U.S. Open for one pocket, and he lost to Shane and then lost to Tony Johan.
Wow.
But he's like, man, he goes, you know how big I was into one pocket? He goes, I need to start getting back into that, but there's no 9-footers and stuff in this area. It's all 7-foot stuff. Aaron, who's the young man in junior nationals that's a 723? It's pretty strong for a junior. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely a good Fargo speed to have.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how the rest of this rack plays out. I mean, I think right now, if they just roll this 2 in, if he rolls this 2 in, Leaves a cue ball like right here, and they can play the 3 up to this pocket. You might put some speed in here, though. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. You're taking away the 7 ball.
Well, actually, I think the 7 passes between them, but you definitely got to get over there to be able to cut that in. It won't be easy.
Yeah.
That 3-1 is kind of funky too. But I think he got to the point where they can make the 3 now.
Yeah, it looked kind of funny. That's why I was mentioning about just rolling the 2 and leaving yourself right here and playing the 3 down table, because that opens your whole rack at that point. But got a little funky here. Problem is unless he plays a safety, if he doesn't, odds are he's going to leave them a pretty decent opportunity to get out if he doesn't cinch this ball here.
Well, the big problem is, especially in the last match, and maybe it's carrying over a little in this match, but playing too many safeties. Like, go for the out. It's there. But, it's safety this, safety that. Dustin's team was, especially Dustin, they did a lot of that, and I think it took them out of the game.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, do you have a Fargo rate? If you do, what is it?
Is that a Cashton? Is that Cashton Keaton or whatever kid? Oh, I know Landon Hollinsworth, Joey Tate, yeah. I know a lot of those juniors. Joey Tate plays strong. Now, Joey Tate, he's the one that has, like, his sister plays too, right? Well, this is kind of a do-or-die bank here he's firing at. Played it short.
Yeah, I don't know if 248 so you're just brand new over there, right? Not established. Is that why it's 248? I'll be back, Josh. I gotta go watch a hit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious. You can't tell from the stream here how close she is to that ball. If they're touching, she can literally just shoot straight into it. Because if they're touching, you can push straight through it because there's no risk of a double hit. But if there's any separation, if you can see daylight in there, then shooting straight into it is going to be a guaranteed double hit. So she's going to have to shoot away. And it looks like center of this through the center of that almost plays. Doesn't play too bad. So if she shoots, she shoots away at it like this, the way she's looking, it should be able to get that, because it's a friction throw. You're basically going to be pushing the 14 away from this end rail here towards the pocket because you're pushing away in this direction. So she has a chance. Oh, she fired at that pretty quick. Well, left a long, tough shot for Sherry.
All right, I'm back.
She just got to roll this one in. How close were those balls, Rich?
They were married.
So were they married?
They were. I went up and took a good look at that. But
so she could have pushed straight into it?
She could have, but if she'd have been aimed at the bottom rail, that would have thrown the 14 at the pocket, but she aimed away at the top rail,
Yeah.
and well, you saw the result. It pushed it outside of the pocket.
Well, that's what I was trying to look at. It looked like it was aimed to hit towards the end rail here, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah, she could have went straight into it. She could have went straight into it too. But I think had she done that, she would have just followed it right in.
Yeah.
Jonathan's got a tough shot on the 8th. He's elevating.
Yeah.
Still doable, but much tougher than you want. And then, of course,
especially with all that body English.
Yeah. So, I'm pretty sure that's going to end the match. Oh, rolling a little high.
Yeah, it's still doable.
Yeah, and then I think Buddy's good for this shot.
Yeah.
So he has this 8 ball to win the match, and this is our last match of the night. Thanks for tuning in, Aaron, and everybody else. Appreciate it. We'll pick up the rest of this tournament tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Same bat channel, all that good stuff. So thanks to everybody who tuned in, and we'll see you again tomorrow. It was a pleasure meeting you, Aaron. Thanks for the conversation.